Hello, beautiful Hello Soul, Hello Business participants. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much to Beth and Kelly Ray for having me. As an effort to transport myself into your home today with my words, I will be doing this video and would love to hear from you guys no matter what at some point in terms of how your experience has been going on in this journey so far. What an amazing course. I absolutely love the work of both of these women and all of the participants. It's just been so cool to be a part of this. So I'm very grateful and would love to hear from you. Before we get started, you are more than welcome to reach out to me at any time. I'm WillowToons on everything because I draw cartoons, so it's WILLOTOONS and literally on everything. I have a lot to say, clearly, so I say it on Twitter and Facebook and Flickr and Tumblr and everywhere. So please reach out. That's also my website, willowtoons.com. And then doing a lot of work, I'm also a co-founder and VP of marketing at Stitch Labs, which I will go into a little bit later and tell you a little bit about. I actually have owned my own business for 10 years, and me being a co-founder on with Stitch Labs is kind of one of the first. I had a brief stint with a startup in 2010, but me joining on with Stitch Labs was really like the first time in almost 10 years that I had sort of joined on with a bigger company. I'd always had my own small businesses, and that was that I was a designer and illustrator, and so I did everything from custom illustration to websites and graphic design and a lot of different things in that realm. And then in 2007, I started my own business putting my designs and illustrations on products. So I had designer tees and tote bags and gift cards, greeting cards and jewelry, and it was really fun. It was a huge line and it was fantastic. And in that time, I really loved the marketing. I loved sharing what I was doing. I loved the community that I built. I had the honor really of having an amazing community that rose up and support me. I was sort of an early adopter of the social media, and through marketing my stuff to my community, who, by the way, WillowToons, my product line was all where geek meets rock and roll. So all my friends, being the geeks and the rockers that they are, liked what I was doing, which is great. And it took off, and I had actually a relative amount of success thanks to the power of social media. So fast forward a couple years into my business, learning so much about business and so much about what it takes to be successful in business. And I kind of realized really within like the last couple years that this is what comes naturally to me. Me doing this marketing and reaching out to everyone really came naturally to me. So I almost had to reverse engineer my marketing skills to be able to like share them with everyone. And I started doing that actually almost fresh out of the gates about a year into my business, started speaking on helping other people sell online and sell their products. From a business point of view, as well as a like marketing and social strategy point of view. I want to address the first question that Kelly and Beth asked, which I think is a great way to get us started in this course of marketing with authenticity. How do you make your marketing more soulful? So in terms of making it more soulful, how I've, like I said, sort of reverse engineer my own process is that I think largely it comes down to being very passionate about what you're doing. And I can't help but feel that everyone who is listening to this and watching this right now, that you're not very, very passionate about what you do. That's why you're here. That's why you've invested in this course. And I think that that's absolutely the core of marketing with authenticity, is sharing that passion. People love seeing that. To me, bringing the soul into your business is really sharing your story. and whether you want to share your own story, which I'm sure you have a story that's led you to where you are now, or sharing the story of the customers that you're helping, or that are even buying your products and the experience that they're having. Whatever your service or product may be in your business, bringing that soul into it, bringing that heart into it. How is it changing the world? How is it helping people's lives? And or how has it changed your life by doing it? People want to hear that. It's a guiding light and an inspiration, and the more you can tie story into all of your marketing, the more soul it will have. How do you make yourself stand out from the crowd without being pushy? I believe that when we're working on what we love, we shine brighter. It's absolutely about creating value and recognizing that what you are providing is of value, and knowing what that value is, knowing what your purpose is in it and who your target market is, so that you know how you're helping them. And when you're clear on that, I think it just makes it's so much easier to do what you love and allow yourself allow yourself to shine and get it out there. There's a lot of self-discovery to be had in owning your own business, as I'm sure you all know, and this course does a really fabulous job of helping you sort of walk through that self-discovery process. And I think that really is something that you have to look at in the marketing efforts that you do. So not being pushy is, I think, just right up there with not really wanting to hit people over the head with your sales. So I think that's really, you hear people talk about this all the time, like creating value. And I think that what that just means, to simplify it, is that, say for example, you're on Twitter or you're on Facebook or you're sending newsletters, that it's not always just banging people over the head with, this is what I have for sale, or this is what, thing you can buy, or what have you, but that you're genuinely providing value, whether that means that you're providing a quote, or a few paragraphs or links to events that they might like. Pinterest actually is a great example of this, I think, in a way, because you're simply sharing what you love, and that by you sharing what you love, other people enjoy that. They welcome it. They look for it. They repin it. They love it. They like it. And I think that whether you feel like sharing your own process of your life, in terms of your experience running your business, your personal feelings in your life that you feel like you can share with people, so that's sort of interspersing this very true authenticity with the things that you're also maybe selling or promoting, or whether it's that you're simply sharing the stories of your customers or sharing things that you find online that you feel like your audience would really enjoy. That's creating value. That's not being pushy, and it's not just hitting people over the head with the thing that you're wanting to sell. It's bringing an authenticity and a realness to it. So see how you can thread that through your marketing efforts. How does someone who hates selling sell? Now, this is a great question, actually, because I think that this kind of ties back in with this last one as well, where we have this fear of selling. We have a fear of being perceived as being people that are trying to sell. And I get that. I definitely have had times where I'm like, I hope I'm not just like, talking about my own stuff too much or what have you. And I think the thing to remember, and there's a great quote that I'm sure you've all heard, but I think it really sums it up the most. Who are you not to shine? This really comes down to recognizing that by you following your heart and following what you love, it's just inspiring other people to shine. And the more you thread your authenticity, your heart, your passion, your mission, your purpose through all of your marketing, the more that's going to come through. There's two things that I hold on to, that great quote, which I absolutely love, but also another funny thing it's a book I haven't read, but the title is so fantastic. Quite frankly, I can't be concerned with what everyone else is thinking. We just can't. And furthermore, I think it's really been something that and you get this as you grow older, and something that I've really valued as I grow older is that not everyone's going to get me, and that's okay. Like, I am who I am, and I have an incredible family and friends and community that get who I am, and when I'm around them, that's, I feel myself, I feel great, they understand me. And there's sometimes that I'm around somebody that I don't feel like gets me, or maybe I don't get them, and that's okay. So it's really recognizing that the more you follow your heart and your passion with your business and what you're putting out there into the world, the more you're going to attract these people that are drawn to that light, and just keep shining. As far as someone who hates to sell, I think that the most important thing is to recognize and remember your awesomeness. And there's times, all the time where I'm like, I think I've forgotten my awesomeness. Like today, I've sort of forgotten my awesomeness. And there's a great video that I'll link you guys to right here. It's obvious to yourself and amazing to others. And that's a really, really fantastic video that I want you guys all to watch, because it reminds us that while things come so naturally to us, we sometimes forget our own awesomeness because we're so used to doing it. We're doing it all day long. So it's important to remember that you are enough just the way you are. You're doing things right. I mean, obviously you're here to invest and improve on yourself and your skills, which is awesome. That's what life is all about. But I think it's important to remember your awesomeness. Furthermore, when it comes to marketing, I think that, writing down your heartfelt mission, getting clear on your purpose, and then when it comes to actual marketing, creating a content calendar. So a content calendar is what I initially do anyway, just to help you wrap your brain around it, is create a bird's eye view into your marketing efforts and everything that you have to promote. So for example, with my business, I had designer tees and tote bags and jewelry, and I had different speaking events coming up, different local craft fair events that I was selling at, things like that. And so that meant that on my content calendar, I would be able to look at throughout the month and make sure I was sprinkling little ways of promoting each of those things. And then it also empowers you to kind of create this marketing plan. And if you don't like selling, you can sort of schedule your selling and your marketing in batches so that you don't feel like you're selling all the time. If it's an area you're uncomfortable in, number one, I highly recommend that if you are truly uncomfortable and you're seeing over and over again that it's not something that you're actively doing in your business, and your business is maybe suffering from it, or could be further. If you had it, I recommend that you find somebody there's people out there that are like me, where it's literally their superpower. They can't help but shout things from the rooftop, or they can't help but get really, really organized. And I can guarantee you probably know a couple people just in your friend groups alone that are marketing or social media wizards and would love to help you put together a plan. Also highly recommend hiring somebody, and you're welcome to contact me. I'm not available for hire right now on this, but I have some great resources for you that I would be happy to refer you to. Something that I feel like is very important to remember in all of this is I want you to bring a compassionate voice to this entire process with yourself. Compassion and curiosity. So, for example, if you're somebody who feels a real stumbling block against, I hate selling, or I don't like marketing, or I'm no good at this, it's recognizing that it's okay. You might be new to this. It might be your first time. It might feel really uncomfortable at first. It's right up there with any time we're doing something new for the first time. So I want you to see if you can't turn it into a little bit more of a treasure hunt. This is an experiment. In fact, that's how I hold everything. If I find myself really nervous about something, or I have a lot of anxiety around something, I just lighten it up, and hey, this is an experiment. I might fail, I might suck at this, but you know what? I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm going to try this, and then inevitably you learn. Like, that's the one guaranteed thing, is that you're able to learn. If you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you keep trying, you're going to learn. I actually just tweeted this out this morning, that a smart business is reviewing stats. Doesn't have to be even in this order, but hopefully you even have some stats or some data that you can look at thus far, and you want to be able to review what's been happening, and then you also want to listen to your customers and see what, even if you listen, you can actually even see what's happening in the future, and then taking action. And so I really, really encourage you to have systems in place where you can review your ROI, which is return on investment, and review your stats and analytics, as well as listening to your customers, listening to the feedback, listening to what they want so that you might dictate that for the future, and then take action. Yes, I recently joined on as a co-founder and VP Marketing of Stitch Labs. They were actually my client last fall. I met them at a conference, the Conference of Creative Entrepreneurs, where I spoke about 5 times in 3 days, and met them there. And by the end of it, we ended up having a chat, and they hired me on as one of their marketing and social strategy consultants. They're only marketing and social strategy consultant, and I help them out of beta. And essentially, just to tell you what Stitch Labs does is that we have a software application for people who make and sell products. So like I said, similar to what I had is with my designer tees, which there's still a few left, but it's been liquidating for about a year now, but you can see the shop on willowtunes.com. But I sold in all these different channels. So I sold in Etsy, I had a Shopify store, I did craft fairs and trunk shows, and then wholesale and consignment. And right now, or for a long time, there's been no one place to manage all of those sales channels, let alone even for somebody who sells in one channel to be able to have really awesome data around what's selling in what channel, who are your best customers, down to even like zip codes. We have all these amazing reports that we're able to give our small business owners. So kind of going back to that stats and analytics thing that I just said, is it's so crucial to be able to see the data from your efforts. And that's precisely what Stitch does. By having all of your orders go in one place, not only are you not having to switch gears into logging into all these different sites to manage your orders, but that you have all that information streaming into one place. So you're able to see what's doing well in what channel, and then down to even like variant, like size and color. So it's really powerful. That's what Stitch does, and I absolutely love it. I wish that it had been around so bad and when I had my business. And joined on with them, and there's a whole post about it, which I actually would love for you all to read, because I go into talking about how me joining on with Stitch is really my sweet spot. And I felt that pretty much as soon as I started working with them last year, and it's why it became so clear that I always say, like, we fell in love and it was perfect. And we decided to get married, which is me joining on as a co-founder. But that finding your sweet spot is something I have been doing for honestly the last couple of years. This goes back to the self-discovery piece of owning your own business and following your heart and following your passion, is that I was like so determined to find what I love doing, what comes super naturally to me, and what I get paid well for. And that is your sweet spot. And I encourage you all to find it, and I hope you do, and I hope you're there. And if you are feeling like you're lacking in any piece of that, whether it be the passion piece or what comes easily to you. A lot of us business owners try to do everything ourselves, and I write a lot about that on my site. I'll include some links here for you. Is just to really concentrate on your strengths. Listen to what you love doing, what comes easily to you, and then make sure that you're charging for it, because your gifts, remember, your awesomeness, your gifts are what's serving the world in a bigger way, and you deserve to be paid well for it, or it's not helping anyone. With Stitch Labs, we recently we closed our seed round, which in startup world is the very, very first round that you can get. We closed $1 million, which sounds like a lot, but once you're running a startup and you've got employees and an office and everything, it goes very fast. But what's awesome is that we have this runway now for a year to, bring on more customers and help more customers and, kind of prove that what we're building, it truly is like revolutionizing this, orders and inventory management all in one place. So very, very exciting. Furthermore, already having this data around where this need was in the marketplace. So clear from both my experience as well as my co-founders. We've all had this experience in manufacturing and running our own product businesses, so we knew. It's from our own intimate awareness around the lack of solutions in this space, and that's why we also made it very, very designer friendly. We're all very design focused and huge fans of beautiful, clean design, and we knew that for crafters and artists that Stitch would have to be designed really beautifully and make it really, really easy, because data and analytics isn't always that sexy. And so we actually make it very sexy. Our reports and graphs are beautiful and really easy to digest. So again, I think it was, us closing our seed round. Number one, we went out for $500,000, knowing just that we could do this as lean as possible. We were prepared to put in the hard work. And what's wonderful is we found an investor that saw our vision. And so I think that the big thing, though, is that we had data to back it up. We knew that this was a pain point for so many small business owners. We knew that what we had built was a absolutely intuitive and beautiful solution to it. And quite honestly, I think the big thing is that our heart is in it. You can feel it, our whole team, and I love my team. It's such a huge part of why I'm so happy to be on board with Stitch, but that you can just feel it. You can feel that our team is so passionate about helping small business owners be more successful, save time, and sell more. And that's truly what Stitch is all about. And we're so excited to have this year and this runway with this seed money to prove that. A big thing that we promote at Stitch Labs is smart business. And one thing that I think is actually something that helped us with our seed round is that we're thinking about our business really smart, and we're also educating our customers to run their business very smart. And one thing that I've learned in owning my own business for the last 10 years is that you really have to be smart about your business. And absolutely that threads through your marketing, it threads through, just running really lean, which is a term kind of in the startup world, but it's just recognizing that you have very limited time and resources as a small business owner. Most of you, it's just you, or maybe you have a team of 1 or 2 or 3 of you. And so it's recognizing what can you do with your time that's going to get you the biggest ROI as you grow in the beginning. So that you don't fail. It's all about sustainably growing your business and having that sort of arc go up, slowly and sustainably. You can't even, sometimes you can't grow too fast. That'll actually, in fact, I'll bet many of us have a funny little fear around being so successful so fast, which don't let that get in your own way. Because I know I certainly had some funny fears like that as well. But it's just recognizing that you want to sustainably grow your business, and that's a huge passion that I've had, both about personal creative sustainability as well as just being smart in your business, so that you don't go broke, or so that you're not in this fight or flight mode, and here you've been spending your time and energy on things that are not making you good money, and then all of a sudden your business fails or what have you. So it's all learning lessons, again, just one big life experiment, but I highly encourage you to, be smart in your business. And I think that's something that, like I said, while our plans are, not free, the fact that they are $12 a month just says, hey, this is a business, and we know that it's important to you to invest in your business, but we're still going to make it very affordable, and we're going to give you a lot for your value. So I think what that, we thread that through all of our education for our customers as well is absolutely you want to make sure you're charging for your work. You should be charging enough for your work, and you should be providing a great value for what people are paying. You describe yourself as a social super collider. How important are personal connections for marketing your business in a soulful way? For me, they are absolutely crucial. I absolutely love my friends and my family and my community. I could not do it without them. And I think that in the state of where we are today, with everything being so public and the kind of marketing that you can do, it's very powerful. You have the opportunity of reaching these fans in, around the world. And so I think that recognizing that you have this opportunity gives you even that much more. It's almost, just think of it all as like forming relationships. You get to have these friends all over the world that get you, that get what you're doing, that love what you're doing. You get to get feedback right away. That's something that, they never had before. 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't just ask, a couple hundred or a couple thousand people on Twitter, hey, do you think I should, make the red or the blue or something like that? You know what I'm saying? So I think that, recognizing that, our whole purpose, I really believe our whole purpose here on earth is to connect with others. It's first to, I think, connect with ourselves and really listen to ourselves and our own heart, what we want, what comes easily to us, what we're here to do, and how we're here to serve the world. And then we can use that connection with ourselves and our own gifts to go out there and connect with others. And so I encourage you to thread that through your marketing. For years, I have been cursed with the inability to pretty much do anything outside of what I'm not just totally passionate about. And obviously, I say cursed, which is silly, but what I mean is that, I may not have always made the most money or not have made the smartest business decisions at times. But I'm really proud to say that, for better or worse, I've always followed my heart and always followed my passion. But it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that there's a lot of people in business. There's a huge amount of self-discovery that goes into owning your own business and following your passion. And quite frankly, as I was transitioning from my WillowTunes product line and into really these last couple years, it was a lot of soul searching and really kind of figuring out that I had really identified with that and had to then let it go and sort of figure out what my next incarnation was going to be for my passion. And it took a little while. I kind of call it it was like a very uncomfortable metamorphosis, where I was kind of like, wait a second, I thought I was this one thing and now I'm maybe another, but what is that? And I really had to kind of keep seeking, soul seeking within and kind of listening. I think it's a lot about listening. I started out, I did design and illustration because I loved it. I started my WillowTunes product line because I loved it. I wanted to see my designs and illustrations on products. Last year, I created WillowTunes Connect, which is a video series dedicated to creative sustainability in life and business. So here I have been, owned my own business for a long, long time and been following my passion, but there's been many times that I've felt very burnt out or overwhelmed or just not really happy. And if you ask me, the whole reason of having your own business is to be really happy and love what you do. So that was really something that I started looking at, how can I stay in my business doing what I love. I've started out anyway doing this because I love it, but also really stay connected to my self-care and my inspiration. And often as we are trying to just do what we love so much and we're so passionate about it, that sometimes that self-care goes out the window, or that we lose sort of some of that inspiration and that love for what we set out to do. So this video series is dedicated to speaking to other amazing creatives that have faced that same thing and had some really beautiful insight. And those are all up on willowtunes.com/connect. and I would love for you guys to take a look. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you all for listening and watching this far. I would absolutely love to connect with you. Again, I'm at willowtunes.com. I'm WillowTunes on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere, and would love to hear from you. Would love to hear how this experience of this talk was for you, if it highlighted anything for you, if you have any questions, anything you want to follow up on. I would love it if you want to take a look at Stitch Labs. You can actually use the code WillowTunes for an extended trial. And I would love it if you'd help me spread the word. We are at Stitch Labs everywhere on Facebook and on Twitter. So if you know anyone who is selling online or making and selling products of any sort in any channel, then I would love it if you would help share and spread the word that there's finally a better way to help them manage it all, and save some time and some chaos that is in a product-based business. And in general, just wishing you guys all the best as you guys watch the rest of this or participate in the rest of this course. And thank you again to Kelly and Beth for having me. I have a 6-week e-course launching soon called Finding Your Way Back to Flow. Sign up now at willowtunes.com/findingflow.